Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Hey, the Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news, and Dolores County Broadcasting Network provides the support for DCTV.
Here at the News at Noon show, we assemble the best and most interesting news from the area, and Jerry Tope brings you the local weather and related news. Give us a call with news tips or topics you'd like to see covered. The number is 677-4119.
We're glad you tuned in to watch DCTV. Today's show is live on Tuesday, rebroadcast at 3 and 6, and again re-aired on Friday at noon, 3 and 6.
Coming up, Summit Lake Body Recovery Update, Jackson Gulch Full, Recycled Dolores, and more.
And also shooting in Archuleta, bear attacks on an SUV, with weather, the sheriff's report, and area happenings. Today is May 16th, 2017, and now the News at Noon. An update from the Cortez Journal. A woman found dead Friday morning in Summit Lake has been identified as Madeline Scott, age 57, of Mancos. Her 2016 Corolla was found in the lake Friday evening in about 25 feet of water near the boat ramp. Scott's death is under investigation, said Montezuma County Sheriff Steve Nowlin. There were no obvious signs of trauma and an autopsy will be performed, he said. We're interviewing a lot of people. The Lewis Areola Fire Department dive team discovered the car and it has been retrieved. Investigators are seeking a search warrant for the vehicle, Nowlin said. Investigators combed the area around the dam and searched the water for evidence. New Mexico State Police were called in with a boat to search the water. Colorado Parks and Wildlife and La Plata County Sheriff also assisted the investigation. Nowlin said that as part of protocol, unattended deaths are investigated as homicides until proven otherwise. He said there are no persons of interest in this case. According to the investigation, Scott reportedly left her Mancos home in her car and arrived at the lake Thursday evening. The location of her car was initially a mystery, prompting a search of the area until it was discovered at the bottom of the lake. The Summit Lake boat ramp and dam are closed to the public while the investigation continues, but are expected to open once the search for evidence is complete. A local resident walking his dog along the dam discovered Scott's body about 9 a.m. Friday and called 911. Summit Reservoir is just off Colorado Highway 184, roughly midway between Mancos and Dolores.
According to the Durango Herald, law enforcement has made 2 arrests in connection with a shooting death Sunday in Archuleta County. The Archuleta County Sheriff's Office released new details Monday, including where the incident occurred, who was arrested, and who was killed. The Colorado State Patrol was contacted by a man in Archuleta County who said he shot and possibly killed another man, according to a 1-paragraph news release Monday. The State Patrol relayed that information to the Sheriff's Office at 10:26 a.m. Sheriff's deputies and state troopers went to the scene and confirmed the shooting death. The subjects involved in the incident were detained for questioning, the release says. The Colorado Bureau of Investigation was notified and asked to help process the crime scene and conduct interviews. An autopsy is scheduled for 10 a.m. Wednesday in Durango, said Under Sheriff Tonya Hamilton. Notifying next of kin has been a challenge, she said in an email to the Herald. The Sheriff's Office said it expects to release more information later today.
Reported in the Cortez Journal, Jackson Gulch Reservoir was full by the 1st of May, and Mancos Water Conservancy District Superintendent Gary Kennedy said that's somewhat abnormal. That's earlier than usual, he said on Monday. The lake's allotment for irrigation is at 100% for the summer, he said. The Conservancy District Board is still working on a title transfer of the project from the Bureau of Reclamation to the district, Kennedy said. The board also is still working on the hydro lease of the power permit at the Jackson Gulch Dam. Both projects are still in the discussion phase. The hydro system at the dam has been cleaned and is set up for operation for about the next 20 years. The power plant at the dam is running at 260 kilowatts per hour, which is full power and about enough for 60 houses. Power from the dam goes into Southwest Colorado's power grid and is being used locally. At the board's May 9th meeting, member Steve Davis was reappointed to a 4-year term. For this time of year, the main goal for the district is to fill the reservoir, Kennedy said. So far, things are looking good, and another storm was expected this week. The snowpack is way above normal for this time of year, Kennedy said.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, almost 1/3 of new drugs approved by U.S. regulators over a decade ended up years later with warnings about unexpected, sometimes life-threatening side effects or complications, a new analysis found. The results covered all 222 prescription drugs approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration from 2001 to 2010. The researchers looked at potential problems that cropped up during routine monitoring that's done once a medicine is on the market. The 71 flagged drugs included top sellers for treating depression, arthritis, infections, and blood clots. Safety issues included risks for serious skin reactions, liver disease, liver damage, cancer, and even death. The large percentage of problems was a surprise, and they included side effects not seen during the review process, said Dr. Joseph Ross, the study's lead author and an associate professor of medicine and public health at Yale University. While most safety concerns were not serious enough to prompt recalls, the findings raise questions about how thoroughly drugs are tested before approval, said drug safety expert Thomas Moore. But Ross said the results suggest that the FDA is kind of doing a great job at scrutinizing drugs after approval. New drugs are generally tested first in hundreds or even thousands of people for safety and effectiveness. The researchers analyzed online FDA data on new drugs and the agency's later safety announcements. Problems surfaced on average about 4 years after approval. Results were published Tuesday in the Journal of the American Medical Association. The FDA said in a statement that it performs post-market monitoring to identify new safety information that may impact product labeling. The agency said it would review the study findings but declined to comment further. The study counted black box warnings for dozens of drugs. These involved serious problems including deaths or life-threatening conditions linked with the drugs. There were also dozens of alerts for less serious potential harms and 3 drug withdrawals because of the potential for death or other serious harm.
According to the Cortez Journal, the Montezuma Community Economic Development Association elected a new executive committee last week to replace outgoing members and fill vacant seats. The association's board president, Dave Hart, plans to step down this month, and the secretary position has been vacant for some time. On Tuesday, the board of directors voted in an all-new team, with some longtime members taking new positions and new members filling some vacant ones. Layla Hansen, who has held the vice chair position for several years while also performing the duties of a secretary, will become the new chairwoman. Haley Leonard Saunders, the public relations director for Southwest Memorial Hospital, will take over as vice chair, while Clint Rapier of Empire Electric Association will become the new secretary. Fred Brooks, mayor pro temp for Mancos, will become the official government representative on the board for this year, taking over from Lana Hancock of Dolores. Cassie Alexander will stay on as treasurer. Nobody ever wants the secretary position because they don't want to take minutes, Hart said. It's so difficult to participate in the meeting and take the minutes. He recommended the board appoint someone else to record each meeting, while the secretary could still be in charge of compiling the notes into minutes. That could be part of the job description for whoever replaces Chelsea Jones as economic development specialist, he suggested. Jones plans to leave Montezuma County by May 21st to move to the Denver area with her husband, who recently accepted a job there. She said she will continue to work with the MCEDA Board of Directors by telecommute if needed, but the board hopes to hire a new person within the next few weeks. Laura Lewis Marchino, Executive Director of Region 9 Economic Development District and MCEDA member, said she had received 1 application and 5 inquiries about the job as of Tuesday. The deadline for application is today, Tuesday, May 16th. For now, though, Rapier agreed to perform all the duties as a secretary. He will also become part of the hiring committee tasked with finding a new specialist. Hansen said she had hoped to have a government representative from Cortez this year, but Tim Miller, the most likely candidate, didn't attend the meeting, and Brooks was nominated instead. Only 1 person was nominated for each position, and all were approved unanimously.
Reported in the Cortez Journal, a black bear mauled the inside of a small SUV last Wednesday in the Forest Lake subdivision, likely a temper tantrum after it got locked inside the vehicle. Courtney Anderson, age 17, said she was asleep about 1:30 a.m. when she heard an intermittent car horn honking outside. Courtney got up and looked outside and saw her mother's 2003 Honda Pilot with its lights on and windows fogged up. She sent a series of text messages to her mother, Kaylee Smith, trying to get her to wake up. The bear apparently figured out how to open the car door and get inside, but in doing so also managed to close the door behind it in an effort to free itself. The bear tore apart a passenger door until it opened. No windows were broken during the trespass. Courtney said she was too scared to go outside, so she kept sending late-night text messages to her mother updating her of the situation. She didn't want to knock on her mom's door. After the bear freed itself and the commotion died down, Courtney ventured outside to assess the damage. She sent more text messages to her mother. "OMG, Mom. OMG. I just checked it out," she texted. "The entire passenger side door is completely torn up. You can't even shut the door. It's so bad, Mom. You're going to freak out." The incident lasted for 1.5 to 2 hours. Smith woke up at 5 a.m. to see her daughter's text messages. Smith said the car was cleaned last weekend and there was no food inside. To add insult to injury, her boyfriend had made repairs and performed routine maintenance to the vehicle that same night. The bear tore apart door panels, seat upholstery, and ceiling mesh and left scat in the back seat. It is not unheard of for bears to break into cars, but usually they are motivated by the smell of food, said Brian Peterson, executive director of Bear Smart Durango. He encouraged residents to lock their car doors and keep all food out of vehicles, including gum and beverages. He also reminded residents to remove bird feeders, which entice bears to approach homes. And now, here's our weather report.
Today will be mostly sunny, with a high near 58, and the southerly winds of this morning will turn to the west-southwest and run at speeds of 10 to 15 miles an hour. Gusts are expected to reach 25 today and tonight. Tonight, between 4 and 5, now has a slight chance of scattered rain and a mixing in of snow showers. Winds will be running strong at 20 to 25 miles per hour to reach you tomorrow morning. In the afternoon tomorrow, some thunderstorm activity will be added and the high will be near 52. Southwest winds will drop to 10 to 15 but offer gusts up to 35. Tomorrow until about 10 p.m., rain will be dominant, then mix in snow until around midnight. There's a slight chance of snow somewhere less than a half inch through the night. Northwest winds at 5 to 10 will bring the temperature down to around 29, putting a freeze watch in place from midnight Wednesday to 8 a.m. Thursday. Thursday night will be close and slightly under freezing. Snowpack melt will slow as a result of all this cooling and become visible in the river levels over the next 24 hours. Nevertheless, high flow in rivers leads to swift and unpredictable currents. Debris in the river can create numerous snags. Water temperatures will also be very cold. When recreating or working in or near high-flow waterways, use appropriate safety gear. Unstable banks along fast-moving waterways may move quickly and give way without notice. Thursday, snows will be possible before 9, then mix with rain for about an hour, then become rain with some thunder and a high near 48 and winds at 5 to 10. 8 to 11 inches of snow are expected in the western slope mountains at 9,000 foot and up, and a winter weather advisory is up for this storm. Friday is still expected to be mostly sunny and start to warm to the mid-50s, and Saturday will reach the lower 60s. Up to a foot of snow is possible for the Cascades, Northern Rockies, and the Wasatch Range with their current system. Heavy rain and strong to severe thunderstorms will be possible from the southern and central plains to the upper Midwest, with extraordinary Gulf moisture continuing to pull northward ahead of a mean western U.S. upper trough. That yellow area from top to bottom of the Midwest is for severe thunderstorm areas. The top third in red denotes flash flood concerns. 3 to 4 inches of rain is possible anywhere in that huge area. Heavy rains are expected to develop ahead of a dry line moving across the southern and central plains. Above normal temperatures will migrate from the upper Midwest to the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley region as the upper level ridge shifts eastward. Highs will range from a low just under 50 to the upper 60s for the weekend. Lows from the upper 20s to the lower 30s until an upper 30 Saturday night and a lower 40s for Sunday night. Colder, windier, snowier, and rainier until Friday. Now back to the news.
According to the Cortez Journal, the first year of a new grant program designed to encourage more physical activity in southwest Colorado schools has been a success, the program's organizer said. Take 10 is an initiative of the San Juan Board of Cooperative Education Services, supported by a Colorado Health Foundation grant of just over $1 million, grant coordinator Cindy Erickson said. The main goal for the grant is to increase the amount of physical activity throughout the school day in K-12 students, she said. Take 10 stands for Time for Aerobic and Kinetic Exercises for 10 minutes. The program wrapped up this year and will continue next school year. The program has 3 different components. The first is a morning running club that meets before school up to 4 times a week. The goal is for students to run 100 miles over the course of the school year. Second is movement breaks within the classroom that allow students to give their brains some resting time. The third component is unstructured play during recess. The grant provided funding for recess equipment such as small toys designed to help kids move more during recess, Erickson said. All 8 Southwest Colorado school districts that are part of San Juan BOCES have participated in Take 10, including Cortez, Mancos, and Dolores. The grant also paid for training for teachers on how to do movement breaks in their classroom. In the second year, Erickson said all schools at all the BOCES districts will be participating. For the first year, the program was mostly for kindergartners, through 8th graders. Though the grant only lasts 2 years, Erickson said she has encouraged schools to prioritize policies that encourage physical activity for students.
Reported for Reuters by Anahi Rama and written by Anthony Esposito, Mexico's government has enlisted the help of 3 trained dolphins to locate in the wild a less fortunate cousin, the rare vaquita porpoise, in an effort to bring it back from the brink of extinction. There are fewer than 40 vaquita porpoises left in the wild. This makes it the most endangered marine mammal in the world. At 1.5 meters long, they're a relatively small, tiny, snub-nosed porpoise that lives in the Gulf of California. The smallest member of the cetaceans, a group that also includes whales and dolphins. Gillnet fishing for shrimp and totuaba, a popular delicacy in Asia, has caused increased international concern and pressure on Mexico. 3 dolphins will be released in September in the Gulf. Mexico's environmental minister, Rafael Pachiano, said on Monday that they will help locate the vaquitas. Experts will then help capture the vaquita and transport them to a marine sanctuary that Mexico's government's planning to establish in the Sea of Cortez. Once inside a pinned-off area to ward off natural predators, the experts will help them reproduce. The only hope that the vaquita has is this program. The Mexican government will seek the financial support of different organizations for the $4 million project. Mexico's already put up 3. Organizations have called on U.S. consumers and seafood companies to boycott Mexican shrimp, part of a last-ditch campaign to save the porpoise. Mexico imposed a 2-year ban on gillnet fishing on the vaquita's habitat in 2015, extending it earlier this year. Critics have complained that the ban should be better enforced.
According to the Cortez Journal, Cortez Quilt Company has been named one of the top 11 quilt shops in North America by the Better Homes and Gardens Quilt Sampler magazine. The magazine is published twice a year, and 20 shops are showcased each year between both issues, Cortez Quilt owner Karen Childress said. Cortez Quilt is included in the Spring-Summer 2017 issue, which is on newsstands now. Childress said being recognized in the magazine is a huge honor. 9 other shops are recognized from coast to coast across the United States, and another shop in Alberta, Canada. Shops are located in cities as large as Jacksonville, Florida, and towns as small as Erie, Wyoming, with just a few hundred residents. More than 3,000 quilt stores across the country are eligible to apply for the honor, Childress said. She submitted photos and information about her store to the magazine last year, and was notified that the Cortez Quilt Company had been selected last fall. She opened the shop in 2011 after switching from a career in marketing. The magazine sent a writer and photographer to the shop to write a feature on Cortez Quilt Company for the magazine. Some of the stores the magazine features are just a few years old, while others have been going strong for decades, Childress said. After magazine staffers told her she'd been chosen, Childress had 3 weeks to submit 2 original quilt designs, one of which would be included in the magazine, she said. Even though she had limited time, Childress went the extra mile and sent in 3 designs, she said. The design the magazine chose is called Bejeweled. It features an Irish chain quilt pattern and combines jewel and earth tones. Childress describes herself as the Earth Tone Queen in the magazine feature on her store. The magazine also includes step-by-step instructions for quilters to recreate the bejeweled design.
Reported by the Dove Creek Chamber of Commerce, reduce, recycle, reuse, and regenerate. Learning about one's consumption of products and materials is not just an environmental concern, it might also be an economic incentive if the issue was imagined with creative leadership at its helm. 3 enthused Dolores County residents addressed the commissioners at the May 15th meeting to start a conversation about recycling in Dolores County. Business CEO Lisa Airy, Jess Airy, wildlife ecologist, and Gerhard Montevideo, engineer and businessman, brought a range of perspectives and research to the attention of the commissioners. But first, they asked what has already been addressed and what the county's stance on a recycling need had been. Julie Keibel responded that the county is definitely in need of recycling, and Steve Garcher said it would be a wonderful opportunity, but felt there would be monitoring needs as well as addressing the cost issues. Commissioner Keibel shared her knowledge of what had been attempted in the past and noted that there is curriculum in the school system to teach the kids about recycling. Lisa provided research from our area, particularly from Montezuma County landfill manager Shaq Powers in Cortez, who has turned around their landfill notably with the recent launch of the Upcycle Shop area. She shared that there are 2 major elements being addressed with economic viability: paper and organics. Organic trash from just 3 sources, the supermarkets, hospital, and casino, results in 21 tons of refuse a week. But instead of seeing that as waste, it becomes a resource by being composted into valued soil that is later sold at $22 a yard. Similarly, cardboard and paper can be recycled into a new product. The discussion expanded from the basic step of education, not only on how to separate garbage into usable potential, but how to show that there could be an economic gain from addressing the community's waste products, to the big picture need for a Four Corners area recycling facility that could prove to be a moneymaker and provide local area jobs. Right now, plastics and glass are trucked to the Denver area, adding fuel and labor costs, where they are further separated and reprocessed. There are currently 2 plants in that area. The Denver Post, in a March 4th article, wrote that, quote, Colorado ranks among the lowest 20 states for diverting trash toward other uses. It may be time to change that. The commissioners also noted the local concern over excess tires in our county. Talk continued on how that is a local, state, and global issue. The conclusion of the discussion was that indeed there is a need, and that education and information is the first step to overcome the heap of our landfill waste issue. Under the banner theme of Life is a Circle, Lisa Airy is working to reach out to various local and regional people in positions that could help bring a movement forward for a more sustainable and responsible management of our resources. And that's no garbage. It should mean we will be growing the future together.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of May 8th through the 14th. A deputy took a complaint of noxious-smelling trash at a town residence. A semi that had been idling in park at the Sundial for over 24 hours was checked by deputies. It was waiting for a load. Loose dogs on the highway were reunited with their owners by dispatch. A report of an altercation at a county business was responded to by deputies and the Colorado State Patrol. A civil standby was performed at a town residence. A lost purse was turned into the sheriff's office and returned to its owner. That's it for today's roundup. Stay tuned for continuing updates.
For today's High Canyon Country happenings, City of Cortez is accepting registrations for the 2017 co-ed sand volleyball season. All games will be played on Wednesday nights. It's an 8-game season plus a double elimination tournament. The fee is $75. Registration ends May 31st. The season begins June 14th. For more details, call 970-564-4080. In Dolores, there will be a ribbon-cutting open house for the Dolores Music Business Music Lessons by Renita Connie. happening Friday, May 19th from 6 to 8 p.m. You're going to hear student performances and their group student performance of the Irish Jig at 7 p.m. There's cookies and refreshments, and this is located at 28,000 County Road T in Dolores. In Mancos on Wednesday, May 24th, there will be an open house for the multi-farm CSA Southwest Farm Cooperative, held from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Wild Edge Brewing Collective on 111 North Market Street in Cortez. You can learn how to get great local food products every week, socialize with farmers, and learn about the CSA. All of the happenings are posted up on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the embedded YouTube replays, weather, and original stories and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. The email is dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 677-4119 and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. This program airs live at noon Monday through Wednesday, then it is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 3, and 6.
And be sure to check out our Facebook page. It has all the links and details with original stories and the video replays. Please like us there and share the link.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and everyone at DCTV with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.